Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English, your favorite UPSC platform in India. We are going to talk in this video about the much awaited Zapad 2025 multilateral military exercises, with key participation coming from Russia and India. Now, in a world of geopolitical conflicts and constant wars, India and Russia have proven their long standing, strong defense partnership. From being a purely buyer and seller relationship in the past, today both the countries are enjoying joint research, development of advanced military arsenal like the BrahMos missile, like the AK-203 rifles, and many more initiatives. So here comes the Zapad 2025, and for this, quite excited, the Indian Armed Forces have already departed, including 65 personnel. The entire contingent has already reached the Mulino training ground that is in the Nizhny, Russia. Now, this exercise will see a tri or a trio participation from India, because from India we have about 57 personnel from the Indian Army, then we have around 7 from the Air Force, plus a representative from the Navy. So, therefore, it's quite a broad spectrum exercise here. Now, talking about how these exercises are scheduled to be taking place from today. In fact, they have already begun. The introduction session has already started yesterday, and this shall continue till 16th September 2025. Once again, a promise and a commitment of Indian Russian strong defense ties. Now, the Indian Army contingent this time will be led by the Kumaon Battalion. So, the Kumaon Regiment is going to lead it. Of course, there are troops and there are arms and services from many other contingents also here. So, what are the broad objectives of this undergoing Zapad 2025? One clearly is to enhance military cooperation between the countries. Second is to improve interoperability, to function jointly, to function together. Better communication, better signaling. Then comes this exercise as a platform for participating armies, both India and Russia, to exchange war tactics, war technology, strategization, techniques and procedures in the domains of conventional warfare, the age old warfare, as well as counter terrorism practices. Now, terrorism was also a key agenda in the recently held Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. In fact, the new Tianjin Declaration that has been released as a result of the SCO summit has found equal support from Russia, India, and China. One of the key targets of this declaration is to stop terrorism, to stop war. Definitely, India was also keen and was expecting a much more aggressive response from China and Russia over the Pahalgam attack and the Operation Sindoor conducted by India. But unfortunately, rather than unequivocally supporting India, the countries in general made a statement condemning terrorism. But it's a good thing that in the new Xinjiang Declaration, all the countries are committed to combat any form of extremism, any invasion by a non state actor into the territory of any member of the SCO. So that means India today has at least a backup in South Asia. Now, in the same light, therefore, Indian government has also been investing thousands and crores of rupees to become Atmanirbhar and self-reliant in the defense region. Very recently saw how we are adding up to our stealth frigates in the Navy. We just saw INS Himgiri, Udaygiri. Recently, we got the Tejas airplane once again, and another upgraded version from the DRDO. Similarly, today, during Zapad 2025, both the countries are also therefore trying to make sure that troops, the armies of both the nations, are also learning joint planning, tactical drills, and special arms skill. Apart from that, this platform is also a great opportunity for our defense forces to learn joint operation capacity. Then, of course, we are talking about using the emerging technologies in war. Now, we all know the nature of war has also changed. We have seen examples. We have seen the Armenia example. We have seen the Russia Ukraine example. Today itself in the morning, there was a huge controversy about whether Poland also will now jump in the Russia Ukraine war. Poland had threatened to invoke the Article 5 of the Charter of the NATO, under which all the NATO countries will stand up for self defense. for each other in case there is an external attack. All this is happening because Russia says that accidentally some of the drones entered the Polish territory. Now, in that light, we must understand that today the nature of warfare is changing. We are seeing a higher usage of drones, advanced drones, stealth drones. We are seeing a greater use of AI and digital technology in wars. And hence, this joint platform is again a great opportunity to learn about emerging war technologies and how to operate in a multinational event of a war. So, the Zapad exercises, if we talk about its history a little bit, we understand that this had begun during the Soviet era. That's much before the Soviet Union even broke down, during the times of the Cold War itself. And Russia has then been conducting it quite regularly since 2009. Now, what's the meaning of the word Zapad? Well, it's a Russian word and it means West in Russia. It refers to West. Therefore, it represents as a series of large-scale joint military drills happening between Russia and Belarus. Now, Belarus once again has been quite a controversial territory when we talk about Russia. In past also, people associate Belarus as being over-dominated by the Russian troops, by the Russian government. Today also, as we were talking about accidental launching of drones in Poland, Belarus once again came in the news. Russia said that Russia and Belarus were actually practicing some mock drills. And unfortunately, the drones happened to cross the Polish territory. Whether it's a true claim or whether it's a fake propaganda, we don't know. But Belarus, once again, often comes in the news very closely associated with Russia. And the Zapad exercise also used to take place between both these countries. Now, if it started during the Soviet era, then we had many versions of Zapad, including Zapad 77, 81, 84. All of them were reflecting the world dynamics during the Cold War period, where the world was ideologically divided between the US and the USSR, the Soviet Union. Now, both the countries had animosity. And if you talk about today, then even today, not much has changed. Although we are quite past the time of the Cold War, today's geopolitical realities are very different. But even today, as we see, NATO countries, including America, supporting and financing Ukraine in its war against Russia. And we see the US imposed sanctions on Russia. It's a clear indication that not much has changed. So the tough relationship between Russia on the one hand and the US continues, often putting nations like India in a spot. Because India does need the support of Russia, a key defense partner, a key trade partner, a key destination for us to import cheap, sustainable oil and energy from. And at the same time, on the other hand, is UK and US, India's key trading partners. So therefore, it puts the global south countries in a very difficult situation. Now, talking about Zapad once again, during the post-COVID revival period, Zapad once again started. This was Zapad 99 that took place in 1999. It was basically a response to NATO's Yugoslavia operations. So once again, we see a massive anti-NATO sentiment coming from the Russian side. Now, it is usually held once in 4 years, and the most remarkable sessions were held from 2009, then 13, 17, 21, and now after 4 years, we are going to see the Zapad 2025. Being one of the main joint military exercises between Russia and India, Zapad is not only once again, as I said, a key milestone in the bilateral relationship of the two countries, but also it leads to more war learnings, more war technology, more advancement for India, which is already in the process of improving and enhancing its defense sector. Now, on that note, it's also good to see which are the main joint military exercises that often take place between India and Russia. So, we cannot miss the name of Indra here. Indra is a bilateral drill series involving land, navy, and air, and it has been conducted quite regularly since 2003. Once again, it aims at improving interoperability and defense cooperation between India and Russia. Now, talking about another exercise called Exercise AV Indra. Now, Exercise AV Indra is a biennial which happens once in every 2 years. Exercise that's an Air Force level venture between Indian Air Force and the Russian Federation Air Force aerospace forces. And in 2022, there was another very important, notable joint exercise that took place between the nations that's called Vostok 2022. Now, in this Vostok exercise, it was India that participated alongside Chinese and Russian forces. It was the first major war game in which Russia participated ever since the Russia Ukraine war broke down from February 2022 onwards. So, quite important here for UPSC. And now let's have a quick look at the question. The question is about the bilateral defense relations between Russia and India. It says, with reference to the bilateral or the multilateral, as you may call it, military exercise between India and Russia, look at the following statements. One, Indra, exercise Indra. It began in 2003 as a bilateral naval exercise, and later it was changed into a tri-service exercise. By a tri-service exercise, we mean not only is there the army participating, the military, but we also see the navy and the air force participating. The second statement, AV Indra, is a joint air exercise focusing on air to air combat and air defense operations. And three, Zapad, the one that's in news right now, is a multilateral strategic command exercise conducted by Russia in which India has participated as one of the key observers, participating nations, but it is not exclusively bilateral. I could give you a small hint here that Russia and Belarus were the ones with whom the exercise got initiated. So let's have a look at the options and you can try to answer the question, pick out the right option from the codes given below. I also have attached the answer for your reference. Now, before I end the video, here's once again a reminder to you about the ongoing massive mega end of season sale here at Study IQ English. And in case you want to upgrade your UPSC journey, whether it's across only UPSC exam or whether you are aspiring for a state PSC exam, you want to take up optional professional guidance, or you want to write up a judiciary exam, here is a great opportunity. You could please use the codes live on your screen and enroll for this wonderful sale in which you will get plenty and many courses customized, designed for your success through prelims, mains, as well as optional essay writing. So the sale is valid till tomorrow 11 p.m. That's 12th of September 25. So why wait? You can enroll for the sale today and make your UPSC journey fruitful. Thank you so much for being with us.